Copacabana, no longer the hottest spot in North Havana.
The other Copacabana, which Barry Manilow didn't sing about, is on the New South Wales Central Coast. It's in the news because Anthony Albanese bought a big house there, right on the edge of a cliff, just like his prime ministership. Copacabana is his new love nest for his new-ish love. Whereas Lola was a showgirl,
Jodie's a coastie. She's a proud coastie.
and she's sick of living in those other notorious shitholes, Kirribilli House and The Lodge.
When your relationship changes, your life changes and you make decisions.
Decisions that history might show you might regret. In the middle of a housing crisis so pronounced people are happy to live in a cardboard box, Australia's Prime Minister buys a $4.3 million oceanside house worthy of headlining an episode of Cribs. Being called the worst case of political judgment since ScoMo sat on a beach in Hawaii while the southeast part of Australia burnt to the ground.
Yeah, didn't read the room on this one.
I think he couldn't find the right room to read. There are so many to choose from. The light and airy lounge overlooking the Pacific Ocean, the open-plan kitchen where the home chef who loves entertaining can wow his dinner guests, the bright sitting room, the perfect spot for contemplating Australia's economic problems.
I think it's 5.4.
Or the master bedroom, where an exhausted national leader can lay a weary head and dream about simpler times. I could go on. And I will. The spacious second bedroom offering a comfortable and private home away from home for visiting guests. Or the alfresco dining area, where the invigorating smell of crisp, salty air hides the stench of your decaying working class values.
Okay, we've seen enough. But seriously though, what was he thinking?
Two schools of thought. First is that people wouldn't begrudge him having a nice crib because he's Albo from the block.
The Housing Commission home where Anthony Albanese grew up.
Used to have a little, now he's got a lot. Can we not play the song there?
I've told you, we're not allowed. Copyright.
Okay. He was the poor kid raised by a single mum in public housing who pulled himself up by his bootstraps to clinch the highest office in the land.
The second school of thought?
That Albo really doesn't give a flying fuck what anyone thinks because he's probably not going to be Prime Minister for much longer anyway, so you may as well rinse the gig for all it's worth in the meantime.
Give us a bottle of your finest champagne, 5 shrimp cocktails, and some bread for my brother.
Plus, if you're going to piss all over ordinary Australians, you may as well do it from a high cliff top so you don't splash yourself.
So awkward for his colleagues.
Publicly, they have to act like they're cool with it.
He's entitled to purchase property.
Privately, they're singing a very different tune.
What the are you doing here, you f***er?
Any hopes Labor had that this would be a one-day story were rooted by strong jobs figures which rooted any chance of inflation coming down soon. Which means the RBA will continue treating Australian homeowners like blow-up sex dolls for the foreseeable future.
Ease it in there, inch by inch. Like a gentleman.
Greens reckon they've got the answer on housing.
Labor's trying to get ahead of what Adam Bandt's party wants to do with negative gearing. Restricting Australia's favourite tax break, the Greens say, could see investment properties put on the market.
Sold for $1.
Which will give renters a chance to buy.
Unless they don't have a deposit.
Which they won't have, because they've spent everything on sky-high rents, so the Greens' affordable housing policy could actually see renters left homeless.
That doesn't make sense.
As we know by now, it's best not to look too deeply into any Greens policy lest you expose its inherent statistical stupidity.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Bant says he'll use the money saved from restricting the negative gearing tax lurk to build publicly funded homes like the one Albo grew up in.
And who's going to build the new houses?
Maybe the hundreds of thousands of people who will lose their jobs in the resources industry when the Greens get the balance of power at the next election, because Albo's tone-deaf house purchase f***ed his own party's two-party preferred vote.
Just fucking hopeless.
But that won't be Anthony's problem. He'll be sitting back enjoying the view. I'm Ben Harvey.